As the story of VIC Mignogna and all of the sexual allegations against him continue, it looks like we have breaking news that VIC Mignogna is in fact going to be represented by Beer Harris Bullock Hughes, which is a law firm that will indefinitely be representing VIC Mignogna in the cases placed against him. As courtesy of BrammerHammer23 over on Twitter, he goes on to state, and I quote, "Breaking news. These are the partners of the law firm that VIC Mignogna has hired as his legal team. Their credentials speak for themselves. Source: VIC Mignogna's GoFundMe ran by Nick Rekieta." So of course, we now have a definite confirmation of which law firm VIC Mignogna will be seeking out to defend him against the accusations placed against him by Monica Rial and said party. But speaking of Monica Rial, we have dug even deeper in finding out a little bit more of the history behind Monica Rial and VIC Mignogna, as once more, if of course you guys are new to this channel and love Dragon Ball and anime alongside with VIC Mignogna in this situation, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to always be in the loop whenever brand new information and news is posted onto this channel. Of course, the evidence behind Monica Rial had been falsified from the beginning in the fact that a lot of people have been calling her out for her hypocrisy against fans in not only telling people to lay off the harassment but harassing people themselves. As from the beginning, I remained neutral until of course more evidence came out in favor of VIC Mignogna based on inconsistencies and falsified evidence by the hashtag KickVic movement. And again, I will be keeping you guys up to date with all latest information in regards to VIC Mignogna. However, what's most interesting about this is being that BrammerHammer had revealed some of the members of this law firm that will be representing VIC Mignogna. A lot of these individuals have well over 20 years plus experience in these fields, and of course will be representing VIC against all of the accusations placed against him. And as pointed out by Nick over on his YouTube channel, if there is one person that is indefinitely going to be screwed in this entire situation, it's going to be Jamie Marchi. And of course, if VIC Mignogna pursues legal action against her, he could sue her for malice intent and defamation of character alongside slander for the comments made on her own Twitter post in calling for his head and balls on a plate. So that was a big oopsie on Jamie Marchi's part, alongside Ron Toye, who's also inciting lots of harassment towards VIC Mignogna's side and calling out people and slandering people. So this entire situation has been going off the rails since the beginning. However, we also have brand new information courtesy of Xantar95 over on Twitter, who reposted Anime Esh 202's post that dates back all the way to 2007, as Anime Esh goes on to state, and I quote, "As you all know, Monica Rial basically confirmed her alleged VIC Mignogna incident happened in 2007. Well, I remember she was flirting with her soon-to-be boyfriend. Then I remember Pickens. She was dating Chris Patton. He talked about it at cons," basically alluding to the idea that Monica Rial had been screwing around, in which he provides evidence. As he continues, well, not only was Pickens not at any convention according to AnimeCons.com in 2007, but there was only one convention VIC Mignogna and Patton attended, Anime Weekend Atlanta, and Patton canceled. As of course he showcased some evidence in pointing this out, he continues, "Pickens lives and works in Houston. Vic attended AniCon in October in Houston. Rial attended Anime Fest in Dallas in September. Neither attended the same convention." Ironically enough, this goes against the claims that Monica Rial had stated in 2007 she was attending a convention in which Vic happened to be a part of, and that's when the incident went down. But of course, according to Jordan Anime Esh, it looks like none of these accusations against Vic add up due to the fact that neither party was involved or a part of any of the same conventions during that time, in which, as you guys can see on screen, Monica Rial looks to have DM'd somebody over on Facebook, as she goes on to state, and I quote, "Jordan, I was assaulted in 2007. I chose to forgive him because I considered him a friend. I am the only person in my industry who has the guts to confront him about this behavior," which again dates back to 2007, but according to AnimeCons.com, it doesn't look like either of these parties were attending the same convention around that time. Now, near the end of this video, I will be playing a clip of Nick's video over on YouTube alongside EmoshIsLive in detailing more of the strategic way VIC Mignogna can go against the accusations placed against him, which when you look at everything being presented, nothing seems to make sense. However, since Monica was well aware of the incidences that VIC Mignogna had been a part of alongside experiencing that herself, it looks like we've dug even deeper back to October of 2017. As you guys can see on screen, Monica Rial went on to post a tweet over on her Twitter and having to state, and I quote, "I'm a chicken having a blast working with VIC Mignogna." Heart symbol. Again, retweeting something from Funimation. 218 likes. Again, if she was well aware of what Vic was doing, then how come right around the same time in 2017, she was having a blast working with VIC Mignogna, but then all of a sudden, she's accusing him of having to be difficult to work with? How does that make any sense? Again, these are her words having to be put out and questioned by the fandom. It's really not that complicated to see the writing on the walls that's being portrayed here by the KickVic movement. So, what I will be doing right now is showing a clip from Nick Rekieta Law's YouTube channel alongside EmoshIsLive, just for you guys to get a better narrative as to what exactly is going on involving the lawsuits and allowing Nick to better explain the situation alongside EmoshIsLive as well. I will leave their channel links located down below. Again, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below as to how you guys feel about Monica's inconsistencies, the holes in her story, and quote, having to have a blast and working with him, but then all of a sudden she's saying that he's difficult to work with and how he assaulted her. So a lot of things really don't add up here, but I want to get your feedback down below. I do also want to say, guys, if you guys are unaware of my primary channel, Unreal Gaming, be sure to go on ahead and hit that subscribe button over on that channel. We will be covering lots of Dragon Ball content on there, alongside fan mangas, live streams, and many other things. Thank you all so much for your support, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below. If, of course, you guys support VIC Mignogna, slap a like down below. So without wasting any more time, let's check out some of these clips. Here we go.
If you guys thought that he's just bluffing, I'm glad that he wasn't. So all of you guys who were claiming, oh, I hope you got the help you sought after, Vic. Yeah, he got it. He got it. He got a lawyer. He got a law firm, alright? So, with that out of the way, let's jump on to the next topic, Monica Rial. Now, obviously, we've seen many instances of this kind of behavior on the hashtag KickVic movement side of the aisle. And what I mean by that is this idea that being a victim is okay, right? And continuing to allow yourself to be a victim for over 15 years is a good thing. It's considered something that you lock away, you put in the closet, and you bring it out whenever it's convenient to you. And I'm not trying to grandstand the notion of saying that being a victim is a good thing, or being a victim is simply offers people nothing but convenience, and it's a cheap way to get power. It's a cheap way to kind of, you know, virtue signal and all this other stuff, because there are actual victims out there, and I do feel sorry for them, but I don't think these people set a good example for that. So this is a good example of this, right? So Mr. Edward Falcon Resists, and I highly encourage you guys not to @ him on Twitter, not to target him. I'm just simply making this video as a means of inciting some kind of conversation, so that way you guys understand that this is the kind of mindset that Monica Rial and company expects you to support, right? Especially you young kids out there who are arguably, you know, at the weakest state of portions of your lives, right? Not like 2-year-olds or like 3-year-olds, like infants or anything like that. I'm talking about you are at an age where it becomes extremely easy for you to look up to people and trick yourself into thinking that these are the kinds of people that you should be looking up to simply because they said something cool. Whatever it is, this is why you should arguably reconsider who it is you deem as a hero, who it is you deem as a role model. If you guys have parents, look up to them, okay? Look up to something that is worthy of being looked up to. And with that, we're gonna jump into this person's tweet. So Edward goes on to say, @realism, so @Monica Rial, I can confirm that these people defending Vic are psychotic. So he goes on to say that these people defending Vic are psychotic. So he's grouped us all. So everybody who is supporting Vic is a psychopath. And it gets better. He also goes on to say, so far, one person has threatened me with physical violence for defending you and @MarchyMark, hashtag KickVic. One person out of the hundreds, out of the thousands of people that are supporting this man, out of the hundreds and out of the thousands of people that have helped to debunk and to prove that Monica Rial and company are nothing but liars and nothing but people that are willing to fabricate an alleged accusation, an alleged testimony for their own convenience. For their own convenience. These are the kind of people that Edward wants to support. So like I said, I'm not encouraging you guys to attack him, but I'm trying to show you guys that this kind of narrative, this kind of identity is what fits them. They're okay with having this kind of mindset. And they even use the victim card as a means of being noticed by people who have it in it. As far as Funimation, people who have power already, people who have some kind of influence. So he goes on, like I said, this is really annoying because, you know, this is a stupid thing to say, right? That these people defending Vic are psychotic. These people, all of us. He lumped us all in one group, right? So far, one person has threatened me with physical violence for defending you, and at MarchyMark, hashtag KickVic. First of all, I can understand to some degree if you're willing to defend Monica Rial. That's totally fine, okay? But if you're willing to defend Jamie Marchi, something's kind of wrong. I would imagine something's wrong with you. I would imagine that you are borderline psychotic. And that's just based on the accusation that you're making, based on what you're putting forward on social media. And then Monica Rial responds by saying, don't let them bother you, heart emoji. Herself has allowed herself to become a victim for a long extended amount, a long period of time, verbatim her words as claimed in her statement. But it's just this kind of mindset where people think it's okay to be targeted, where people think it's okay to be a victim, and they use that. And they use that as a means to grow in numbers. And they use this mob rule, this mob rule ideology as a means of getting some kind of point across. And this is why people don't believe them. This is why people don't, support them. And this is why people call them nothing but panty waists, right? And it's not even about, oh, showing me proof that he threatened you. Obviously, yes, people will threaten you. And what I don't understand is how people can hold Vic Mignogna accountable for this when the person who started this hashtag KickVic, Marsgo, comes out and says, if at Vic Mignogna would like to disavow and labels us as alt-right, the alt-right people defending or, making claims of physical violence, supporters, people who support him against the hashtag KickVic, against other fans and stuff like that, now would be a good time to do it. And what does Vic do? He actually comes out with a statement, disavowing any kind of acts of violence. He doesn't condone that. He stated it, even though he wasn't obligated to. He didn't have to, but it did look good for him. It did look more professional for him that he did. So that's just that. You're
not gonna see the same legal approach that you've seen on other types like this. They don't move slow. They move fast. They, in many ways can go straight for the heart because they are prepared to go straight to court if necessary. That's what litigators do. A lot of attorneys don't like to do that, right? They like to talk about things. They like to drag out the process, and it can be really, not that they like to, but they want to negotiate and stuff like that. Litigators, of course, can negotiate and do very often. But one of the advantages of having litigators on staff is that they are ready to go straight to war if necessary, and that kind of changes the way that talks happen prior to things being filed. So this is the firm. You're welcome to look it up. She is apparently on the investigation, self-professed on the investigation team at Funimation. However, what she did was she claimed that she was swatted. Just a couple days ago, claimed she was swatted. I can't remember.
Was this the woman on Facebook that posted a picture and it turned out it was from 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah, that's
yes.
her exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, okay. All right. This is the same one. All right. I think I get where we're going. Okay.
And I mean, again, like you could just Google like shotgun doors, and of course. Yeah, you know what cops always do? When cops are gonna bust down a door, they do a breaching round to the door handle, because that's how cops breach a home door. No, if you're getting swatted, pro tip, they're gonna use a battering ram with 2 cops, and those guys are gonna be covered. They're not gonna use a breaching round, and you don't breaching round a door handle, you breaching round the hinges of the door. That's how you breach a door with a shotgun. But you don't actually do that to a civilian home because you don't know who's on the other side of the door.
Yeah, honestly. What I love the most is the way she said that, like, after the cops helped her fix the door. That does not happen. Like, dude, the cops don't help you fix the door after.
This reminds, didn't she blame it on Vic fans that did this?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
It reminds me of what happened to Elon Musk when journalists were getting really angry with him. There was a female journalist, I can't remember what outlet she wrote for. But she got into an argument with him on Twitter, and they were having responses back and forth. And he caught her in some kind of lie or something she was doing that wasn't really above board and made her look stupid. And so in retaliation for it, she went out and said, look at all the harassment I'm getting from Elon Musk fans. That was her response. It's the fans of his that are doing this, not my fault at all.
It's always that's something that's been really prominent in these things. You know, with Comicsgate, it was Ethan Van Sciver's fans are attacking me, which is Ethan's fault because he controls them somehow. Diversity in Comics, his fans are going after people because he has some sort of control and therefore some sort of responsibility, which is of course ludicrous. And that was actually in Maddox's lawsuit. The vast majority of things that Maddox accused Dick of were actually perpetrated by quote-unquote fans of Dick, although no verification that they were actually Dick fans.
The only time there'd be merit in something like that, right, is if that person literally like had a call to action, like, and told those people to do that specific thing, right? In that case, that would be a different story. And
maybe like incitement is not this thing that everybody thinks. Like if you just say we should kill all Irish people or whatever, that's incitement to violence. It's actually not. Incitement to violence is to target a specific person and have a reasonable belief that violence is imminently going to occur to that person. So this goes back to Brandenburg versus Ohio, where the KKK is in downtown or in a park in Ohio saying, or in like Cleveland or whatever, saying that they should hang all the blacks. And they weren't using that term, obviously. They were using very unfriendly terms to YouTube.
Right.
But the Supreme Court's like, no, that's not actually incitement to violence because it's a general statement setting out a political belief. As reprehensible as it may be, that's not actually incitement. Now, if there was a black guy there and they said, we need to hang that guy, different story.
Right.
But yeah,
the case too, like with Musk, Diversity in Comics, and Vic, they're not even doing it like. Not only are they not doing it and saying to their fans, go out and do terrible things or go out and mess with somebody, they're not even doing it in a playful way like O&A used to do, where they're like, oh, you know, wink, wink, don't go to this, a newscaster's Facebook page and say terrible things. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like they know what's being insinuated.
Right, but nobody's doing that. That's the craziest thing. And I remember seeing this lady's Facebook post, and then I remember somebody finding the same picture on her Facebook
with
like 3 or 4 years before that.
Dude, what was she thinking? Like, didn't even make a different account to like at least try and hide it.
No,
oh my God. Literally the same Facebook account.
Her name is even big, Samantha Inu Hart.
Yeah.
So that's who it was, because and again, this is someone who apparently Funimation says that they've made a hiring or firing decision based on her account, and within weeks of that happening, she's faking to the public a very serious thing. Like, again, if you're going to court against Funimation or any of these voice actors and they cite to the thing, you'd say, well, yeah, but they're willing to lie in public about a serious offense, an offense that has gotten someone killed in the last year, which is swatting. They're willing to do that. How credible are they? We can attack their credibility. And briefly, these big brains out on Twitter all think, for example, Jamie Markey and Monica Rial have said they've got 25 women willing to testify. They don't get to testify because what those women have said is irrelevant to what Monica Rial and Jamie Markey have said. So you don't get to just parade in a bunch of people to assassinate someone's character in court. You only get to do that on Twitter. You don't get to do that in court because
she's trying to give it like her mob rule, like bring them into the court, like the same like kind of thing.
Yeah, our justice system realized a long time ago that if you just have a brigade of people, that is not relevant to the issue at hand. It would only be relevant if you're challenging each of those people's statements. But if you've got 25 people to back up your claim, they're never going to testify. Ever. Maybe some of them will show up in deposition, and you know who they're going to depose because you get to pick the deposition. They're going to depose the dummy who decided to fake a swatting account, and they're going to have in deposition them saying, now, did you or did you not fake a swatting account on Twitter? Like, yeah, yeah, I did. Isn't it true?
She actually did try to spin it off as like, did you hear her excuse by any chance? It was like,
no.
She said something along the lines of like, well, what did she say? She said, I really did get swatted, but I didn't want to use current pictures because it would leak my address, so I used old pictures. That's like paraphrase. That's what she was getting at. It's like basically what she said. Now,
if I'm not mistaken, someone immediately contacted the whatever county she lived in, asked them for the swatting report, and they said there's been no SWAT team deployments.
Well, obviously that police station must be Vic fans. There are more Vic fans that are covering up this tragic event.
Right.